Chapter 15. The next night, Lauren opened Regina's door a few inches. She shoved a pint of Ben & Jerry's Chunky Monkey ice cream inside, waving it in the air. If this doesn't get her, nothing will, Lauren thought. She heard footsteps pad in her direction. The door swung open. Regina took the ice cream carton from Lauren and walked to her bed. She pulled the top off the carton without speaking a word. Lauren pulled 2 spoons from her pocket and handed one to her stepsister. 8 o'clock, and Regina is already in her nightgown, Lauren thought. No makeup, hair a total mess. She's changed so much. Lauren glanced at the TV on top of Regina's bookshelf. Regina had The Wizard of Oz in the VCR. Lauren knew Regina always watched that movie when she felt upset. Lauren remembered watching the movie with Regina when they were little girls. Regina, remember how I always hid my eyes when the Wicked Witch of the West appeared? I'd beg you to tell me when it was safe to uncover them. Yeah? Regina didn't smile. Lauren sat next to her on the bed and scooped up some ice cream. They both stared at the TV. Regina, what's wrong? You're so different lately. Is it because you can't go out with Justin? Regina didn't reply. Because if Justin is the problem, Lauren continued softly, I don't think he's worth feeling this miserable over. What do you know about it? Have you suddenly become an expert on guys? Regina snapped. No, Lauren protested. I'm worried about you, that's all. Worry about yourself, Lauren. You have a lot more problems than I do, Regina replied coldly. What does that mean? Lauren cried. It means you're so messed up I can't stand to be around you? Regina threw her spoon on the floor. You're the one who has changed? Regina strode over to the door and yanked it open. She stood there until Lauren left. Then Regina slammed the door closed. Tears stung Lauren's eyes. Regina hates me, she thought. She really hates me. She ran to her room and grabbed her purse. I need to get out of here for a while, she decided. She found her mother and father watching the news on TV in the living room. I'll be at Marcy's, she told them. Mr. Patterson glanced up from the television. You and Regina aren't fighting, are you? I thought I heard some yelling back there. Nothing serious, Lauren replied. She couldn't meet his eyes. I'll be home early, she told her parents. Oh, Lauren? Mrs. Patterson called. Lauren stopped halfway out the door. Be careful tonight. There's been another hit and run. A knot formed in Lauren's stomach. Another car got hit? Her mother shook her head. No, a pedestrian this time. A man over in the old village. They think it may have been the same car. That's horrible, Lauren exclaimed. I promise I'll be extra careful. She closed the door and hurried to the Cataluna. She couldn't help glancing at the bumper. Oh no! A horrified gasp escaped her throat. A dark red smear near one of the headlights. Lauren touched it. Sticky. She brought her fingers to her nose. Not paint this time. Not paint. Not paint. Lauren bent over and gagged. Blood. Blood on her fingers. Blood on the Cataluna. Chapter 16. Lauren gaped at the dark, damp smear on the bumper. She pressed a hand over her mouth, tried to stop her stomach from heaving. Chills rolled down her body. She took a deep breath and held it. Regina is the hit-and-run driver, Lauren realized. She stared at the blood on the bumper until it became a dark blur. No, there must be another explanation, Lauren told herself. Regina could not be a killer. But she's been acting so weird lately. She never talks to me. She's angry all the time. And I know she's been sneaking out, driving the car to meet Justin. Once again, she pictured Regina laughing after running over the tricycle. Regina had laughed and laughed, so heartless and cold. She laughed after she almost ran down the little girl on skates, too, Lauren remembered. Sammy. How would Regina have felt if she had killed Sammy that day? Would she still have laughed? Lauren hurried into the garage and grabbed an old t-shirt from the rag bag. She wet it in the sink. Then she returned to the Cataluna and began wiping away the blood. Lauren watched the blood soak into the rag. Clean every inch, she instructed herself. If the police track down the car, it can't have one drop of blood on it. She scrubbed the bumper until her hand ached. Sweat trickled down her forehead. Lauren forgot how angry she felt at Regina, how much her sister had hurt her. I have to protect Regina, she thought. I have to protect my sister. When Lauren felt satisfied that no blood remained, she climbed into the car. She stuffed the bloody rag under her seat. Taking a long, deep breath, she pulled out of the driveway and onto Fear Street. She didn't stop at Marcy's house. What could she tell Marcy? Not the truth. She couldn't ask her friends to protect Regina. I have to deal with this alone, Lauren thought. It's the only way to save Regina. I'll make sure Regina doesn't hurt anyone else, Lauren promised herself. I'll make sure she gets the help she needs. Lauren drove down Park Drive, past the hospital. Is the body of the man Regina killed lying in there somewhere? She wondered, waiting for someone to claim it. Lauren turned right on Division Street. The old woman died on this street, she thought. She tried not to picture the Cataluna crashing into the woman's car, sending the woman through her windshield. At Mill Road, Lauren turned right again. She didn't have a destination. She wanted to drive, to think. It didn't matter where. Lauren reached the old deserted mill. She parked the car facing the big paddle wheel and left the headlights on. She grabbed the bloody t-shirt from the floor of the car. I have to hide this, somewhere where no one will find it. She climbed out of the car, left the door open. Lauren's thoughts raced. This is crazy. This is wrong. But I have to protect Regina. She climbed over to the old water wheel. It no longer turned, but a thin stream of water still poured down the stone chute. Lauren knelt by the chute. The ground here was soft and muddy. She buried the blood-stained shirt in the mud, shoved it deep into the mud and covered it, then smoothed the mud over carefully. For Regina, she thought, for Regina. She shuddered, turned to the stream, and let the cold water run over her hands. It felt soothing, helped to calm her. When all the mud had been washed off, she stood up and started back to the car. To her surprise, the high beams clicked on. Oh! A frightened cry escaped her throat. The headlights flicked from high to low, high to low. Who's there? Lauren called out in a trembling voice. Who is it? In reply, the lights returned to their low setting and held steady. Lauren moved out of the range of the headlights and approached cautiously. The door stood open. She could make out the front seats in the dim interior light. Empty. No one inside. Is that you, Justin? Are you playing another sick joke? Silence. This isn't funny, Justin. It's you, isn't it? Silence. She eased closer to the car, peered into the back seat. No one there. She hopped in the driver's seat and reached for the key in the ignition. Before she turned it, the headlights flickered again. Lauren let out her breath in a whoosh. A short circuit, she told herself. That's all. It must be a short circuit. Hoping that the ignition had not shorted, Lauren turned the key. The engine hummed. Yes, Lauren thought. After shifting into gear, she headed the car back to the road. I've been acting like a crazy person, Lauren told herself. I haven't been thinking clearly at all. I've been in a panic, that's all. Tomorrow, I'll hardly be able to believe. I thought Regina was a hit-and-run driver, she assured herself. As she turned onto the road, something caught her eye in the rearview mirror. A flash of light. A pair of lights. Lauren's breath caught in her throat. The headlights of a car. Someone is following me, Lauren realized. Someone saw me bury the shirt. But who? Chapter 17. Lauren raced down Mill Road. She kept her eyes on the rearview mirror. The headlights gleamed behind her. That car is still following me, Lauren saw. Who is it? Who? The police? Could the police have identified the Cataluna? Did they know it had been driven in the hit-and-run accidents? She struggled to see the car, but the lights flooded the mirror. Could it be Justin? Lauren made a sharp left onto Fierce Street. The other car turned too, kept close behind her. Lauren took a deep breath and gave the Cataluna some gas. She sped toward the intersection up ahead. At the last moment, she slammed the brakes hard, spun the steering wheel to the right, shifted into third, and hit the gas again. Once she straightened out the car, she checked the rearview mirror. Lost them! Then she spotted 2 points of light behind her, growing larger, brighter, closer. Lauren slowed down as she approached the Hawthorne intersection. She flicked on the right-hand turn signal. She started to turn, then jerked the steering wheel and raced straight across the road. At Canyon Road, she spun the wheel to the left. The car skidded on 2 side wheels as she made the turn. Breathing hard, her heart pounding, Lauren glanced over her shoulder. The other car was still there. Faster, she urged herself. Got to go faster. Lauren flew down Canyon Road. Parked cars became a blur on the left and right. She stared into the rearview mirror. The headlights blinded her. The old village! I can lose them in the twisted streets of the old village. Lauren made another right, entered the narrower streets of the old section of Shadyside. The headlights of the pursuing car fell back. Lauren turned left, then right. She drove down Mission Street, sped by the stores and offices of Division Street. She pulled over to the curb and parked, turned off her headlights. Waited. She rubbed her fingers, trying to ease out the stiffness. She gripped the steering wheel so tightly both hands ached and throbbed. She waited a few minutes more. "Lost them," she muttered. "I lost them." Lauren turned the headlights back on and slowly pulled back out onto Division Street. She rolled down the window and took deep gulps of the cold air. Her adrenaline rush faded. Her entire body began to tremble. "I have to talk to someone," she decided. "Marcy. Marcy will help me figure everything out. Marcy is a real friend." Lauren drove to Marcy's, careful to make lots of turns, careful to check the rearview mirror. She parked in front of her friend's house, then trotted up to the front door. Her hand still ached. She knocked twice. Marcy opened the door. "Lauren!" she gasped. "What's wrong? You look wrecked." She pulled Lauren inside, then led the way down the hall to her room. "Sit down," Marcy ordered. "I'm going to make us both some tea. Tea always helps calm you down. Then you're telling me everything." She hurried out of the room, closing the door behind her. Lauren sat on the edge of Marcy's bed. She stared blankly at the wall. Her brain felt numb. Marcy returned with 2 mugs of tea. She handed one to Lauren and sat down beside her. "It's Regina," Lauren stated. She felt tears well up in her eyes. "I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe my sister is capable of murder, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure of anything. I feel like I'm going crazy." "Oh, Lauren," Marcy cried, wrapping an arm around Lauren's shoulders. "What has happened?" Lauren gripped the steaming mug tightly. The warmth soothed her. "I found blood on a Cataluna's bumper tonight," she said finally. Lauren took a long swallow of tea. "A few days ago, I found paint on the Cataluna. Paint scraped off another car." Marcy stood up. "Let's go look at the car," she urged. She pulled a flashlight out of her desk drawer. Lauren shivered when she saw the Cataluna, but she followed Marcy across the lawn and over to the car. Marcy leaned down and shone the flashlight onto the front bumper, clean and shiny. Marcy glanced up at Lauren. "I washed it," Lauren explained. "I didn't want the police to catch Regina. I don't want her to go to prison." "But Lauren," Marcy said, straightening up, "the bumper doesn't even have a dent on it. How could Regina have hit someone hard enough to kill them without leaving a tiny dent? It's not possible." "But the blood," Lauren insisted. "What about the blood?" "Are you sure it was blood?" Marcy demanded. She ran her hands over the bumper again. "I touched it," Lauren explained. "I smelled it. I'm sure it was blood." Marcy slowly circled the Cataluna, shining the flashlight over every inch. "No way this car was in 2 accidents. No way, Lauren. It's in perfect condition." Lauren shook her head. "I don't know what to think. Regina has been acting so weird." She slammed her fist down on the hood. "It's this car," she cried. "It's this horrible car. There's something wrong with it. It's evil. Evil!" Lauren slammed her fist on the hood again. Marcy grabbed Lauren's hand. "Stop it!" she yelled. "Stop it, Lauren!" Lauren stared at Marcy. "She's scared," Lauren realized. "Scared that I'm totally losing it." "You're not thinking clearly," Marcy said firmly. "You're letting your imagination run wild. Fighting with Regina has you completely messed up." "Maybe you're right," Lauren admitted. "The car would have to be dented, wouldn't it?" "Definitely," Marcy replied. "I think you need to go home and talk things out with Regina. I bet she has an explanation." Lauren hugged Marcy. Then she climbed into the car. "Thanks, Marcy. Thanks a lot. Thanks for being such a good friend. Call me after you talk to Regina, okay?" Marcy turned and headed back to the house. Lauren pulled away from the curb and started the car down the street. She glanced in the rearview mirror. Darkness. No one following her. Lauren concentrated hard on staying between the lines, using her turn signals, coming to a full stop. "I feel as if I'm back in driver's ed class," she thought. But the streets felt dangerous, frightening. She kept expecting to see headlights following her, or a girl's voice laughing cruelly in her ear. Lauren turned the corner onto Fierce Street. Her parents had left the porch light on for her. "I'm home," Lauren whispered. She parked in the driveway, leaped out of the car, and ran into the safety of the house. Good, she thought, making her way down the back hall. Mom and Dad are already in bed. I'll be able to talk to Regina without worrying about them hearing. Lauren crept down the hall. She stopped in front of Regina's door. Light under the door revealed that Regina was still awake. Music played softly on the radio. "Regina," Lauren called. She rapped gently on the door. "I need to talk to you." The light snapped off. The song on the radio cut off abruptly. "Regina, I know you're in there. Open up. It's important." Silence. Lauren grabbed the doorknob. Regina will be furious if I barge in, Lauren thought, but too bad. Lauren turned the knob. The door didn't open. Regina had locked her door. She never did that. "Regina!" Lauren called. "Regina!" "Lauren, is that you?" her mother called. "Yes," she answered, sighing. "It's late. Go to bed, or you're never going to wake up in time for school." "Okay, Mom," Lauren called back. "Sorry I woke you." She stared at Regina's door, hoping Regina would change her mind. "You can't hide from me forever, Regina," Lauren murmured. She continued down the hall to her own room. Lauren undressed and dropped into bed without brushing her teeth. She suddenly felt exhausted. Almost immediately, she fell into a deep sleep and saw the white Cataluna in a dream. The car was filled with blood. The thick red liquid seeped out the windows, ran from the tailpipe, dripped from under the hood. With a cry, Lauren sat up and clicked on the light. "That car is evil," she murmured out loud. "Lauren, would you drive over to the dry cleaners and pick me up my green dress?" her mother asked her 2 days later. "I want to wear it tomorrow, and I'm right in the middle of making dinner." "Maybe I'll ride my bike over," Lauren replied. "I could use some exercise." Mrs. Patterson glanced at the clock. "You won't have enough time. It closes at 6. She narrowed her eyes at Lauren. "Don't tell me you're tired of your new car already." Lauren shook her head. "Of course not. I'll leave right now." She didn't bother to remind her that it was Regina's turn to run errands. Lauren hated driving the car, but she couldn't stand the thought of Regina behind the wheel. "Okay," Lauren told herself. "You are going to cross right in front of the car without checking the bumper." Lauren had been checking the car every few hours, even during the night, making sure no blood had appeared. She had tried to stop, but the car drew her to it. She strode purposefully toward the car, her eyes focused on the house next door. Lauren's footsteps slowed as she passed in front of the car. "Okay, you can take a quick peek," Lauren told herself, "but that's it." Lauren glanced down at the bumper. Blood glistened on the shiny metal. Lauren squeezed her eyes tightly shut. "You imagined it," she told herself. "You imagined it. When I open my eyes, the blood will be gone." Slowly, slowly, she opened her eyes. Chapter 18. Lauren stared across the dinner table at Regina. Her sister had purplish circles under her eyes. She hadn't bothered to cover them with makeup. "This ends tonight," Lauren promised herself. "I have to make Regina tell me the truth." Lauren picked at her food. She dreaded confronting Regina. She wanted to go straight to bed, pull the covers over her head, and pretend that she'd never noticed anything strange about the car, or about Regina. But I can't, she told herself. Not after finding more blood on the Cataluna. If I don't stop Regina from killing again, then I'm as guilty as she is. Guilty of murder. Guilty of murdering innocent people. Regina asked to be excused. Lauren jumped up and followed her down the hall. Lauren grabbed Regina's arm. "Let's go for a ride." "No way," Regina replied coldly. "I'm not going anywhere with you." "Yes, you are," Lauren insisted. Her fingers dug into Regina's arm. "I know your secret, Regina. We can discuss it in the car. Or we can discuss it right here, with Mom and Dad." Regina yanked Lauren's hand away. "Fine," she said, scowling. "But I'm driving." "No," Lauren started to protest. "I'm driving, or I'm not going at all, and you can tell Mom and Dad whatever you want." Regina stormed out the front door. Lauren reluctantly followed. She needed to talk to Regina. She had to force Regina to confess to the killings. Once she did, they could decide what to do together to get Regina help. But Regina always changes in that car, Lauren thought. What if she kills someone else? What if she tries to kill me? Regina climbed in the driver's side and slammed the door. She rolled down the window. "Well?" she called. Lauren hesitated. Then she hurried around the car and slid into the passenger seat. Regina turned the ignition key, gunned the engine. "Be careful," Lauren begged. Regina didn't answer. She backed down the driveway, then raced down Fear Street. "Slow down," Lauren prayed. "Slow down, slow down, slow down." An intense stare on her face. Regina suddenly swerved hard to the right. The car bounced over the curb. Regina maneuvered the car onto the narrow bike path leading to Fear Lake. "Hey, what are you doing?" Lauren cried. "Stop!" Regina didn't reply. The branches of the old trees seemed to reach out for her. They slashed and scraped against the windows of the car. "Regina, are you crazy? Stop! What are you doing?" Lauren screamed. "Why is she driving us into the woods?" Lauren wondered. "Is she planning to hurt me?" The trees thinned as they got closer to the lake. "No one will hear me if I scream for help." Cold terror swept through Lauren's body. Stop! Please, stop! Regina slammed on the brakes. Lauren jumped out of the car. Regina climbed out quickly and stalked over to Lauren. Anger contorted her features. Lauren forced herself to meet Regina's stare. I know your secret, Regina. Regina laughed, a sharp, icy sound. Okay, so you know my secret? So what? Lauren hadn't expected Regina to confess so quickly. She doesn't even care that I know she's a hit-and-run killer, Lauren thought. Is that because she plans to murder me too? That's all you have to say? No explanations? No excuses? Lauren cried. She stared at her sister, no guilt on her face, no sorrow, no fear, just cold anger. I don't owe you any explanations for sneaking over to Justin's, Regina said through gritted teeth. Who do you think you are? Nice try, Regina, Lauren replied. She forced her voice to remain calm and steady. But we both know that's not your secret. Lauren took a step closer to her sister. I know you killed those people, Regina. What? Regina's eyes grew wide with surprise. Regina, I know you're the hit-and-run driver. Lauren, are you crazy? Regina shrieked. I'm not the hit-and-run killer. You are! Part 5. West Hampshire Colony, 1698. Chapter 19. William Parker fled from the villagers. He darted between trees and changed directions several times. Finally, he lost the 2 men who had discovered him. As he ran, he heard Catherine's evil laughter in his ears. With a cry of despair, he covered his ears, forced himself to keep running. It grew colder as the sun lowered, a winter storm in the air. He staggered through the fields, glancing back for signs of his pursuers. He was growing tired. His legs ached. His head throbbed. How would he survive the night? William spied a shack up ahead, a small shelter used in the spring for boiling maple sap into syrup. He stumbled to the shack and peered inside. Empty. Praise be, he thought, his heart pounding. William crawled into the shelter and lay down on his back. The roof had huge holes. Not much protection from the storm, but better than nothing. William closed his eyes. He tried to forget what had happened, tried to shut the ugly pictures from his mind, but he could not force them away. He saw Henry Mason sprawled on the ground, his hand lying in the dirt, his daughter cradling him in her arms, Evie's eyes filled with hatred. No, he shook his head. Catherine is responsible, he told himself, not I. But am I not also to blame? He asked himself. A sick feeling clenched his stomach. Why could I not forget this mad quest? I might have found a new life, a new home. Instead, I chased Catherine here. I brought death and destruction to Henry Mason and his family, to Evie, to my dear Evie. William crawled on his hands and knees to a stack of buckets used for gathering the maple sap. He huddled beneath them. As he gazed at the rough-hewn floor, he spied a spider crossing one of the planks. Is that you, Catherine? He whispered. She could be anywhere, he realized. Anywhere at all, waiting to kill those William dared to care about. William reached out and squashed the spider beneath his thumb. What are you now, Catherine? A snake? A cat? A girl? As if in reply, something rustled outside. He heard twigs snapping, branches being pushed out of the way. Someone, something, approached. William crawled across the floor. He pressed his face against the wall and peered through a chink in the boards. He could not see anything in the dim light. He heard voices shouting, feet tramping through the underbrush, several men calling to one another. Over here. What is it? Do you see him? A shed. Old Grady's maple shack. Maybe he's hiding inside. We may still have our hanging tonight. Go check it. Light glinted on a musket barrel as a man stepped into the clearing. William jumped back from the wall. He searched wildly for somewhere to hide, a hole, anything. The stacks of wooden buckets surrounded him, nothing more. A board creaked beneath him, a loose floorboard. If he could pry it up, he might be able to squeeze underneath. William dug his fingers under the edge of the board. With a grunt, he jerked upward. The board creaked, then pulled free. He peered into the dark crawlspace below. But before he could climb down, a dark figure leaped into the cabin and pointed a musket at William's heart. Chapter 20. William stared into the musket barrel, waiting for the shot that would end his troubles, his quest, his pain, his life. Instead, the barrel lowered. The door creaked closed. Evie Mason rushed into his arms. "William, I found you. Thank goodness you are well." "Evie," he gasped, gazing in wonder into her soft blue eyes. "What are you—" "Shh." She raised a finger to his lips. She rose and returned to the door. Then she cracked it open and stepped partway outside. "No one here," she shouted to someone back at the trees. William heard some answering voices. Then he heard footsteps heading away. Evie hurried back to William's side. "What are you doing here?" he asked in a whisper. "I joined the hunting party. I had to find you, to make sure no one hurt you. But your father, I thought after what happened—" She lowered her head. William could tell that she forced back tears. It was so awful," she murmured. "Father lost so much blood. But we stopped it in time. He will live." Evie raised her eyes to him. "I know that you are not responsible for injuring him. I believe you." "You do?" he asked eagerly. "You believe that Catherine has brought her bad luck to your family?" "I do now, after what I discovered." She grew quiet. In the faint light of the shack he read the pain in her expression. He recognized something else as well, something new and troubling. "What happened?" he demanded. "Did you see her? Did you see Catherine?" "It cannot be," she sobbed, covering her eyes. "It cannot be." "What is it?" he pleaded, holding her close. "Remember what you told me? About the crescent-shaped birthmark on Catherine's forehead?" He nodded. "I saw it." Evie trembled. She stared down at the ground. "Where did you see it?" he pressed. "You must confide in me." "When my cousin Jessica was preparing to go to bed, I caught her removing her cap. The red crescent mark, it was on her forehead." "Jessica?" His stomach tightened. Somehow the news did not surprise him. Something in Jessica's voice had warned him. Something in her eyes. "Jessica insists that you brought the evil, William. But our troubles started before you arrived. They started right after she came to live with us." "You had never met her before, had you?" he asked. She shook her head. "I'm afraid that this Jessica is not your cousin," he explained gently. "She is Catherine in disguise." "What about my real cousin?" William shook his head sadly. He did not want to admit the truth. Catherine had most certainly found the real Jessica on her way to the farm. Then Catherine had killed her. Catherine's powers allowed her to assume any form she wished, even that of another person. Surely she had transformed herself into Jessica's double. Evie seemed to understand and did not ask again. "Does she know you discovered the crescent moon birthmark?" William asked. "I do not think so. She had her back to me. I caught a glimpse of it in her hand mirror." "Is she still at the farm?" "Yes, alone." "And your father?" "We brought him to the village. He can be cared for better there." William nodded. "Then I must go back. I must finish this once and for all." "Do you plan to kill Jessica?" Evie gasped. William gripped her shoulders. "It is not Jessica," he said firmly. "It is not your cousin. The creature is not even human." Tears ran down Evie's cheeks. He hugged her, felt her body shaking with emotion. "I have to go back," he whispered. "It is the only way. This thing must be destroyed before it escapes and kills again." "But what if you are wrong? What if it really is Jessica?" Evie demanded in a trembling voice. He held her away from him and peered into her eyes. "Are you certain about the crescent moon, Evie? Did you see it clearly?" "Yes, at her temple. It glowed red." "Then it is Catherine, and she must be killed before she realizes she has been discovered." Evie began to sob. "I cannot do this," she wailed. "I cannot kill my own cousin, even if she is not Jessica." "You do not have to. You will wait here while I go back," William told her. "This is my quest. I will finish it, for my father and for my brother, for all those Catherine has destroyed." Standing, he lifted her musket from the floor. "Hurry back," she called, reaching toward him. "Please, and be safe, William." "I will hurry back to you as soon as I am able, I promise you." Returning to her side, he leaned down and kissed her. She threw her arms around him and held him close. "The farm, is it far?" he asked. "Only a few miles. Straight that way." She pointed toward the southwest. "I will return for you. Do not worry." He kissed her again, then hurried from the shack. William Parker crept toward the Mason farmhouse. He sat for a few minutes at the edge of the forest and watched the house for any signs of activity. No movement of any kind. Silence. William crept out of the safety of the woods. Cautiously, he approached the house. The musket was loaded and ready. He kept his long-bladed knife close at his side. William reached the back wall. Circling the building, he peered through each window. He searched for any sign of Catherine. Steam rose from a kettle hanging over the fire. Logs had recently been piled up. She has to be here, he told himself. But in what form? He glanced down at the ground. No snakes, no rats or mice, not even a spider. Approaching a bedroom window, he carefully peered in and saw someone lying on the bed, her back to the window. He risked a longer peek and recognized Jessica. Was she asleep? He couldn't tell. Her cap shielded her face from view. Not Jessica, he reminded himself. Catherine. Catherine of the Moon. Cataluna. William eased open the back door of the house and slipped inside. He tiptoed silently across the kitchen and down the hall, to the bedroom. Jessica's door stood open. She seemed so peaceful as she lay there, eyes closed, the brown cap pulled down on her forehead, hands resting on the pillow. So very peaceful. Time to die, Catherine, William thought. He moved closer, stood beside the bed. He raised the knife in both hands, held the tip of the blade above Jessica's chest. Could he do it? Could he really kill her while she slept?